Welcome back everybody for the World Championship 2015 in Kyoto, Japan. My name is Matthew Bell and joining me here is Jerome. Hi Jerome, how you doing?
Pretty good. We are almost done here today. The finals are set. On the all ages bracket you have Galileo de Abaldia versus Shunsuke Hiyama. Galileo has a chance to become the first two-time winner of the World Championship. And unfortunately for Shunsuke, he has the possibility of becoming the first person to get second twice in a row. Not exactly the best distinction in the world. Over on the Dragon Duel side, we have Mihail Flores versus DeAndre Mason. But before we get to that, there's one last match to be played on both sides. This one's just for pride. It is the annual third and fourth place match at the World Championship, and we're going to be bringing you the all-ages version of it, featuring Chase Cunningham from the United States and Akira Hasegawa from Japan. So let's head on down to the field.
So as we saw, Chase is playing Statella Knights from the last round, and he is playing against Necros.
So yet another, it's been a Necros-filled day for Chase Cunningham and his Artifact Teller Knight deck. This time, though, he is playing against the very Japanese version of it that we saw at the start of day one with Gishiki Chain and Heroic Challenger Assault Halberd.
We don't have the main deck to roll decrees here, do we, for Akira in
No.
this build?
He actually, I don't believe, is running any trap cards at all. No, he's not. So, in this case, Chase doesn't have to worry about essentially not being allowed to play any cards for the entire duel.
Let's see who wins the dice roll and who's going to be taking the first turn in this matchup.
The hands
Chase.
are populating. Chase is going first. He's got double Beagle Tack, not really how you want to start things off, along with 3 other face-down cards.
It feels like he's not actually playing any Teller Knights in that deck from what we've seen.
Yeah,
of
I don't
both his
know
feature matches.
what it is, but... Oh, and he's got Sanctum too, and he can't even Sanctum for Beagle Tack to destroy the other monsters, because he's only got 2.
He's drew them both. Wow, that is just the worst.
Gishiki Chain is normal summoned on Akira's side. Lets him look at his top 3, add a ritual monster or spell to his hand, and then put the rest on top in any order. So, he's got a Clauseless in hand, and knows his next 2 draws if he wants to. Beefy 1,800 attack points on Gishiki Chain there.
Artifact Sanctum.
Special summons, you probably haven't seen this in about a year, but in fact it was just a year ago at the World Championship is the last time we saw Artifact Sanctum played. Special summons an artifact from your deck, but you have to skip your battle phase that turn. And if your opponent destroys it, then it destroys a card they control.
And we're going to see the Morale Attack coming down, which is going to be able to apply a little bit of pressure. But then Akira's hand looks pretty good there, if I'm entirely honest. He's got the Bryonic and he's got the Clauseless he can go with. He knows his next 2 draws, so he can decide exactly on whether or not he wants to shuffle those away right now and start making more plays. And Chase is starting with a very limping hand, where he's got 2 of his BL attacks.
He chooses to do nothing. Now, if he could pick up an Ignition and destroy one of his own Beagle Attacks, that could be huge.
He does pick up Call of the Haunted, which is has good synergy with the Morale Attack. If the Morale Attack gets taken off the field, just being able to bring it back and take out another monster. And he's kept his hand empty, so he's not at risk of being hit by Trishula of the Necros.
It's a good grab. Senju of the 1,000 Hands. Summoned successfully. And he activates the effect to search for Necros of Unicore. Unicore added to hand, more searches to follow. Clauseless is up first for Necros Kaleidoscope. And Scope drops next for the Unicore. Sends Herald of the Arclight to the graveyard, which will offer yet another search. But this time, the Unicore will be hit by Bottomless Trap Hole.
This closes off the avenues to any rank 4 plays, as the Senju's already been normal summoned this turn, and there's only 1 Unicorn in this format, so that's going to put the brakes on pretty heavy for Akira.
Now, Akira's got Forbidden Lance in his hand, and right now he's checking both his extra deck and his field to see if he can perhaps maybe sneak through something good on the Exciton front. Does have to be careful, though, because now that he's seen Sanctum and Moraltalk, he knows there could be another Sanctum waiting. But with the Moraltalk gone, I don't know that it really hurts that bad.
Yeah, I mean, the only other artifacts that are likely to be played is Bieltak and Artifact Scythe.
Yeah, you're not going to have a Caduceus situation where you might fill Chase's field and fill his hand at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like that would be overcommitting to the artifact strategy. Okay, so he does go for the Forbidden Lance on his Unicorn. The Unicorn's now not actually going to be able to run over the Moraltalk in battle.
It's dropped down to 1,500 attack points. It's a minus 800 attack.
Did he really activate a Clauseless this turn, or was that last turn?
He did.
Yeah, so he's just being told, yeah, he can't activate that Clauseless. He's giving the information away, though.
I believe he searched for it with the Herald.
Ah, okay, that's what he searched for. Sorry, he wasn't trying to activate it. Sorry, my mistake.
I think he was also trying to activate it, but that was the card he searched for, so it didn't really give much information away.
Right, okay, I'm with you.
Tellarknight Ptolemaeus in defense position. And he adds Stellar Knight Deltaros to it in the end phase.
Actually, something very strong here is if he goes for Constellar Pleiades and bounces the Moraltalk back to Chase's hand, it's going to shut off the potential called Haunted play that he has set up there. So then he has essentially 3 blank cards in his spell or trap zone. Yep, he's going to attach a second.
That's during the end phase of Chase's turn. Chase passes without play. And then Akira detaches 3 materials to rank up into a rank 5.
Ghost Ogre, Snow
Ooh, but
Rabbit.
Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit is chained to destroy Tellarknight Ptolemaeus and make the XC summon impossible. Nice job by Chase ensuring that he's the only one left with a monster on the field.
The other real nice thing about that is that was his only card in hand as well, so even if his opponent had tried to then resolve a Trishula, which would, under normal circumstances, be incredibly risky running it into 4 back row cards, it would have just ended absolutely horrible for Akira. So he had sort of insurance on both ends of the spectrum, which I kind of like.
Banishes Necros, Kaleidoscope, and Unicorn to go get his 1 cycle. And his ritual spell breakdown here is the 3-2-1 Kaleidoscope Mirror Cycle. And he's also got Reinforcement of the Army.
Yeah, he's got a lot of fuel here to string to put something together. He hasn't used his normal summon this turn either, and I think he still has a Gishki Chain. Whatever he can get off of reinforcements, although that's probably not likely a normal summon.
Well, if you use reinforcement, you can take the Assault Halberd,
Oh yeah,
and you can special summon your way into another rank 4 play. Having a quick think about what's next. It is the Reinforcement of the Army. And he goes for Shurit. Combined with Cycle, that can get him basically anything from his graveyard or hand.
He also has a Bryonic that he hasn't used, so he can basically ritual summon anything he wants now out of his deck or graveyard. Very, very strong position to be in.
Alright, activate Cycle. No response. Shurit distributed to bring back Unicorn. And that'll trigger Shurit's effect to get a warrior type ritual. And it looks like he's going to take Trishula. That's what he's moved to the front. And he does. 1 of 2 Necros of Trishulas. Unicorn attacks. Moral Attack is defeated. That puts it in the graveyard, where Call of the Haunted becomes live. Main phase 2, we've got the Gishki Chain. Activates the effect. And it does not look like he found anything. With that resolved, Call of the Haunted is activated, targeting Artifact Moraltalk to prevent the rank 4 play.
That's interesting. Would you have went and let that rank 4 play happen and then destroyed the rank 4 of choice?
It depends on what it is.
Yeah, I suppose.
If you think you might just get completely wiped out, then you have to stop it. So, Unicorn hits the dirt again, and now Chase is back in command of the strongest monster on the field. Maxi was chained to that call, so Akira did get another draw out of it. And it looks like it is a Necroz of Clausulus. Searches for Necroz Mirror. Mirror could banish that Shuit from the graveyard to get basically anything, again, this time only from the hand. And he activates it.
Goes for the Valkyris.
Valkyris can tribute off that spent chain, which it does, and he draws into what appears to be Manju.
He's already committed the normal summon to the chain this turn, so we won't be seeing Manju until next turn. Oh no, it's Mystical
Space Typhoon. I've sworn I saw a Manju in there. Chase picks up his Reinforcement of the Army. Finally, some actual Tellarknight action. He activates it. Adding a level 4 or lower warrior type monster to his hand, one of the oldest search cards in the book. Not quite Sangan or Witch of the Black Forest level old, but close.
Legacy of the Duelist. Was that the first set that card appeared in?
Legacy of the Duelist, along with Exiled Forest, Marauding Captain, and a lot of other warrior cards. It's really the first set that took monster types as themes, and it focused on dragons, fiends, and spellcasters.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. Labyrinth of Nightmare was fiends, and it had a bit of support now with Dark Necrofear. I think
that was TV related cards.
Yeah.
Unokalai is the choice, and it is summoned, sending Stellar Knight Deneb to the graveyard. That would telegraph another revival type card. Chase thinks about it for a second there, and then flips Soul Charge. It's the first time we've seen that this weekend. Soul Charge for 1 to bring back Deneb.
Once considered the most powerful spell card in the format, I believe.
In the game, really, at the time that it was at 3.
Yeah, I remember that format. European Championships 2014 and North American WCQ hat format.
It was a blast. Like, Soul Charge is a really fun card.
It lets you do a lot of ridiculous things.
In terms of just seeing what is possible within the bounds of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Soul Charge is a card that makes that sort of stuff happen. Not all of it may be particularly healthy for competitive play, but oh man, is it fun.
Oh yeah. 1 card shooting Quasar Dragons are always pretty fun. Or 5 material number 86 Wrong Myriad.
Yep. 2 monsters combined for Tsukiyomi. Altair was the search off of Deneb, and it's discarded to let Chase draw 2. Sets 1 more. And Akira doesn't know this, but those 2 cards that have been around forever are those Artifact Beagle Tax. that Chase has been unable to play. So he's picked up another Altair, and he has Torrential Tribute set face down. He's going to go ahead and check his graveyard. Basically looking to see if there is a way to... Like, now would be a good time to actually have that Trishula go off, because Chase only has one card in hand. Shurit is, however, already banished, so it would have to be played through some combination of Brionac and Clausulus. Manju of the 10,000 Hands joins Necros of Valkyris successfully. Effect activates, searches for Clausulus. Tributes off, Manju to draw another card, and hits Heroic Challenger Assault Halberd. Necros of Kaleidoscope is activated to summon both Trishula and Clausulus. That's sending Barbaroid, the ultimate battle machine.
It's been the most popular kind of multi-kaleidoscope. Normally you see in the TCG the Valkyris and the Unicorn coming out along side by side. This one, obviously, because the Unicorn at 1, this being the most reliable way to get both a Trish off. And Clausulus is actually generally just a good card on its own.
Alright, and now he's finally going to get to see that it was a Beagle Tack face down, while Torrential clears the field. So that is 2 Altairs down, I believe, for Chase.
Not a good place to be in. He's also got absolutely nothing in hand, and his only face-down card is a Bieltak. So he's got... Oh, okay.
Oh, but he hits it with Mystical Space Typhoon.
That's
a very surprising play, I think. Unless what he wanted to do was get the artifact out now so that he can deal with it now. Dropping it now makes Assault Halberd live. And Brionac's discarded for Decisive Armor. A cross of Decisive Armor. Kaleidoscope and Trishula are then banished. Along with Cycle and Clausulus. I think he's going to empty his deck out of ritual spells. There's the Mirror. There's a Scope. Beagle Tack is a high defense monster. I can't actually beat an Assault Halberd, but an Assault Halberd can't beat it either. 6 and 4 are banished to play Necros of Decisive Armor, which is able to beat the Beagle Tack. Assault Halberd hits directly and allows a second one to be summoned.
I guess for your Chase, you have to top the Altair here, or a Dark Hole potentially.
Dark Hole could keep him in it. Altair would give him an actual play.
Yeah, because the problem with the Dark Hole is Akira just then summons the other Heroic Challenger and gets the next search. It is Altair.
Oh, he
off
picks
the
up
top.
the Altair.
Wow, that's
My
the third
goodness.
one. I suppose it had luck had to turn around to Chase's favor at some point.
He had to draw a Teller Knight card at some point. Sends Deneb to the graveyard.
Can only attack with Tellarknight monsters this turn.
Correct. However, in this particular situation, he could wipe the board with Exciton.
Because he only has one card.
And
then his
leave
opponent...
the second wipe available during his opponent's
Yeah, and the
battle
Halberd
phase.
can't beat the Exciton on its own.
It can't.
And there's only one ritual summon left, accessible to Akira unless he hits his preparation of rights. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going for.
It was Exciton, blast the field, go.
Is this where we see the surprise Necroface to put everything back in the deck?
Picks up Necroz of Trishula.
Can't do anything with that.
Checks his graveyard, see how many ritual spells are left, if any. Counts them up real fast. A mirror would be devastating, but it appears he's used both. And suddenly the tables have turned. Akira passes with no play.
Wow, we're just entering the extreme late stages of the game, and the Necros player is facing that late game fatigue where he has just no way to field any more monsters. And now... Solemn Warning as well is a very strong pickup. If Chase knows that's the last Ritual Mirror available to Akira, if when Akira even tries to make that Ritual Summon now, it could be that entire part of his deck shut down.
Looks like he's passing again. Takes another 19 from the Exciton Knight.
He drew Artifact Sanctum. He has Artifact Slice in the deck. Is that correct?
He's got one, I believe. One Scythe. Kira's back. Checks through his graveyard once again. Special summon. Assault Halberd. Normal summon Senju. And
Warning.
that's going to get hit by the warning. Jace, I don't think, actually knows how many mirrors or how many Necroz ritual spells are in the deck.
You can take a guess. I mean, the average number...
Yeah, the average is 6,
It's
and you'd
6.
think 2, 2, and 2. But in this case, it's 3, 2, and 1.
Artifact Sanctum, which is going to be able to pull out...
A Scythe on the end phase.
yeah, and that should be exactly lethal. If my math isn't completely off.
Uh,
Or is
no,
that
I think
just
it's a
little
bit
over?
more. Scythe is,
About
what,
100 points
22, 23? I think it's 22.
Yes,
Be 419.
yeah, okay, so it's a little bit over, but it is lethal.
Jace is back up. Scythe attacks, goes through. Exciton Knight attacks, goes through.
And Chase winning the duel.
Chase Cunningham. It looked pretty dire there for quite some time, but Chase Cunningham hangs in there.
Just sort of just hanging in on the ropes with that awful double BL tech start. That's actually an incredible turnaround, and Akira running his deck out of options and just getting to the extreme late stages where the Necros deck doesn't function well. The strongest part of the Necros deck is the early stages when your entire deck is available to you, and maybe the mid stages of the game when you can recover very well. But the extreme late game is not a place you really want to be playing Necros.
You know what the craziest thing about that was? He got hit by Trishula.
Yeah, the Trishula happened. A whole bunch of stuff happened to
He
him.
got
like-
hit by Trishula. He lost the second Altair in hand, and then he pulls the third one out of the deck
Yeah,
on
totally.
the very next turn.
Heart of the cards right there for
And
Chase.
that's Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's like, oh, Altair, I'm ready now. Let's play.
That is the heart of the cards right there. All
So-
right, Chase looking for redemption in this third and fourth place match against Akira Hasegawa. We do not have results yet from the other third and fourth place match. And for those of you at home waiting for the finals, we have word that those will begin promptly at 3 o'clock, so don't go away. We're just going to keep rolling until this match is over, and if it's not over, we'll switch over then. But we'll let you know how it turns out.
So, side deck options that we can consider for this match then. If you're Akira, does he have the Royal Decrees in the side there? Yes, he does. He has
Yep.
3 Royal Decrees, so those are one way.
It's got Emptiness as well, Vanity's Emptiness, which is particularly useful here, especially artifact variant of the deck.
Yeah, because you can shut off the Sanctum or potentially
without destroying it.
and that's absolutely true. That's just about it. I think that's just about it for interesting.
No, I
cards
think
that
we'll
will come
see
in.
the Dark Hole from Chase again. He used it last time around.
We got 3 copies of Ally of Justice Cycle Reader.
Oh,
for
that's
Akira.
a good point. That's especially good in this matchup. So if you're unfamiliar with Ally of Justice Cycle Reader, we'll switch back so that we can bring that up for you. It's kind of like a DD Crow, but it only works on one attribute, and that is light monsters. And instead of banishing one, it banishes two. So you could take out, the Altair and the Deneb. Or in this case, you could hit, multiple artifacts that were destroyed by a Begaltak.
Yeah, so as they're going into the graveyard and when their trigger effect activates to special summon, you can just take them out.
And the last thing that's really worth mentioning, you can see it on your screen, but Psycho Reader is also a tuner monster.
I didn't know that. And it's also up to 2, I noticed. So you can still just use it to stop that one off if you need to. It's not like you need to wait for 2, but you've got the extra room if you need to. That's a
nice card to have, and we've actually seen it in a lot of side decks during this tournament, because there was kind of an anticipation of some level of Teller Knights.
Yeah, I think if you were coming into this tournament not expecting to play Teller Knights at some point, you were being hopelessly optimistic. Being one of the stronger decks that was left in competition after the combination of the TCG and OCG Forbidden and Limited lists, making Shadow's not a very strong pick, despite winning the WCQ in Dublin.
Yes, if you're unaware, Shadows lose El Shaddoll Construct entirely.
Yeah.
Along with 2 copies of El Shaddoll Fusion here. So if you're wondering why you're not seeing any Shadows, that would be why.
Yeah, and then things like Burning Abyss, for example, as we've already said, this is not legal, so it was never released in the OCG. What were the other big decks? We have seen Heroes, we have seen Tellers. Shadow's not here for that reason.
Ritual Beast we've seen, Cliffort we've seen, we've even seen Yang Zing.
Yeah, so that's basically everything. There wasn't really much further out that you could conceivably go. Unless you went like Jorg and brought Harpies. Yeah,
I like that. I like the Harpy deck. I'm actually kind of shocked that nobody has tried to replicate Jarrell Winston's success with Exodia from the last time the World Championship was in Japan.
I mean, in this particular format, where you're playing against a group of tightly knit people that they have researched you before you get here, like you've had a feature match, your competitors are going to Google you. There's just no way out of that. And then to show up with something as off the wall and as wacky as Exodia, it catches people off guard. And we saw the Hope for Escape build just catching a lot of OCG players off guard because they just wouldn't expect anyone to take that gamble. And in a small tournament where you've only got a certain number of rounds to get through, you can accept a slightly less consistent combo deck to carry.
It's 5 rounds. You only have to win 3. And you know what? You only have to win 3 on the second day, too, to become the world champion.
And then sometimes it pays off for these quirky combo decks in this thing. I mean, we have seen the infamous Frog FTK deck win a world championship.
Well, that was Galileo.
Yes, who
last time around, we'll be saying. Chase starts things off with Pot of Duality. He gets Moral Tack, Sanctum, and Unal Kalai. Now, this is an interesting choice. It's definitely not Moral Tack.
Yeah, he's got the Ignition, but there's just no reason to take that when you could take the Sanctum.
So the question is, do you want to finally get Teller Knights?
Oh, yeah, I think after my
I think he does.
He's already got an Artifact Sanctum in his hand, actually.
Yes, so now that that's populated, we see that he is set. That's a great starting hand.
Yeah, he's also got Imperial Iron Wall. That's very, very strong. He's already got one of his Vegas. He's got another Pot of Duality, which, again, no, that's the one he's just played, sorry. He's got the Vega ready to get back the D-Nub, and he's got the Sanctum to disrupt any potential plays that Akira could try and make next turn, and he's got the Artifact Ignition to out any potential Royal Decree play. This is very strong for Chase. And winning that last game after being so far behind for so long was already quite an accomplishment.
It's a confidence booster, I think.
If I was Akira, that would shake me a little bit when you think I was in such a commanding position and it all just slipped through your fingers.
Sets 3. And Akira's up with a pair of Max C, Reinforcement of the Army, Valkyrus, Clausulus, and a third Max C.
So Chase just has to win this with the smallest number of special summons possible.
Pretty much. Between Reinforcement of the Army and Clausulus, Akira will be able to get the Valkyrus onto the field, but it will likely be immediately destroyed if he does.
Here's a question for Akira. If you see the Artifact Sanctum flipped, do you immediately use one of your free Max Cs to exchange it for a new card? Or are you really going to hold that back for as long as possible and try and catch every Altair with it?
I think you got to use one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got 3. You have to get some use out of these cards. and you don't necessarily know that Chase is going to be able to special summon a ton. Kaleidoscope is activated. It's a shame to have to use Shugart with that instead of being able to get something out of the extra deck. But you do what you got to do. Necros of Trishula is gathered up. And it looks like the Kaleidoscope was his 6th card at the start of the turn. Valkyris is on the field.
Tributes to Maxis.
Tributes to the Maxis to get 2 cards. Well, that's one way to do it.
That's really suspicious when Chase knows how those Maxis very easily in this matchup give your opponent extra cards. So, as Chase, do you assume that your opponent's drawn the 3rd one here, or do you go, he's given up both of them, he's probably hasn't got the 3rd?
I think you think he's probably got a really bad hand and needed the cards right now.
Yeah, he's desperate.
Normal summons Gishki Chain and takes a look to find Necros of Clausulus.
Chase not flipping the Artifact Sanctum to get the Morale Attack as soon as the Valkyris was summoned. He let it resolve its effect.
And now we see the Sanctum during the battle phase.
This is going to shut Akira down pretty hard, actually.
Yeah, so the key here is that he wanted to wait until the battle phase so that if Valkyris goes, Akira isn't able to just keep searching for his mirrors and get damage on the board during main phase 1.
Yeah,
you also draw as much information as possible out of your opponent this way.
So shutting off some additional searches as well is very powerful.
And we've also received an update. The update is that we will be receiving results for the Dragon Duel when they come in.
Well, it's a tech team that's looking after you when they send you messages just to let you know that there are messages on their way.
That's efficiency. Speaking of efficiency, you only need 1,800 attack points to take out an 1,800 attack point monster. And Gishki Chain...
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Okay, Imperial Iron Wall flipped. Oh. Let's step back for a moment. Gishki Chain is crashing into Unalkalai. And after it was off the field, Imperial Iron Walls flipped to try to stop banishment, but then Mystical Space Typhoon is chained so that mirrors can, or Necros ritual spells can banish themselves to get more stuff.
There's a shirt in the grave, and there's a Trishula in his hand.
Yep.
And the Vega is his only in-hand card.
Yeah.
And the D-Nub is gone as well. Brutal. I suppose that, for Chase, that would have just gone extreme. Has he done it again? No, he's just setting and switching to defense mode.
Yeah, it could be that he just picked up like a call or a Oasis, something like that.
Oh, Royal Decree.
Sets again. Trishula attacks directly.
Flashback to last match Chase had. Let's hope he doesn't draw like 8 trap
A
cards.
second Royal Decree along with 8 traps.
This is exactly what happened last time.
No, I mean last time it was there the whole game.
Yeah.
This time Chase has at least been in it. Quickly doing a little bit of math.
And yeah,
Chase picks up another card that he's setting. But any one of those could have been an Artifact Ignition, but it was not. Royal Decree was flipped, and 4 traps and or artifact monsters later, Chase is picking up, and we're going to Game 3 in the 3rd and 4th place match.
Now that was utterly brutal. I mean, had that Imperial Iron Wall been able to stick, that would have put Chase in just the best position he could be in.
Huge position. The double Mystical Space Typhoons were pretty rough. Rather, it was just one.
It was just a 1, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little difficult to see what was going on there because the Mystical Space Typhoon somehow got shuffled around with the pieces of Trishula as they were being placed on the field. And we have our first update from the Dragon Duels. Zoltan leads 1 over Mikhail over in the Dragon Duel 3rd and 4th place match. So, one last chance to claim 3rd place. As we saw, the Imperial Iron Walls came in for Chase this time around. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Dark Hole again, and maybe even Breakthrough Skill.
Breakthrough Skill, very good against Necros, being able to shut down Manju and Senju and any of the big Necros monsters when you need to. We know that there's a lot of Maxis floating around, because we did see 2 of them getting tribute by the Valkyros.
Yes.
I wonder if that changes how Chase decides to side deck here.
I think the really interesting question for Chase is you've got the artifact conditions in your main deck. In addition to being spell and trap removal, they're actually part of your strategy. Do you add in any of your 3 Galaxy Cyclone? Well, you're not going to have 3 Galaxy Cyclone because your opponent isn't really playing face-down cards, but do you throw in any Mystical Space Typhoons, given that your last 3 of your last 4 games have heavily involved Royal Decree stopping you from playing?
I guess if he's going for the Imperial Iron Walls, the Galaxy Cyclones are less valuable to him.
Well, I mean, the Galaxy Cyclones just don't really have value, because
Yeah.
there aren't going to be anything. There's
So
nothing going to be
nothing
set.
face down.
There's nothing to be destroyed.
So
in
it's
the
Mystical
first
Space
place.
Typhoon's a discussion point. The Mystical Space Typhoons double up has additional ways to trigger your artifact monsters as well.
Yes.
Absolute worst case scenario, you can blow away a drawn BL attack and then get some of your other stuff on. So there is extra value in the Mystical Space Typhoons, and we're seeing every time Royal Decree is flipped, he loses. Like, he's not really ever being able to make a comeback off of it.
No. I'm thinking maybe 1. Put in 1 of the Mystical Space Typhoons. Just to get you up to 4 possible ways to get rid of it.
What percentage chance if you have 4 outs to Royal Decree?
It's a bit less than 50-50.
Okay,
I want to say it's about 47%.
So just under half the time you're going to be able to out that turn 1 Decree.
She's probably a bit less, more like 44. I think you go up from 36.7 to 44-ish. If you were to put in a 5th, that would get you to about 50-50.
Okay, so yeah, he could go for the 50-50, but that might be overkill, especially when you know the Necros doesn't play any other cards that you're going to want to destroy.
I think the worrisome thing is overkill on siding. You don't want to take out cards that are vital to basically to winning the game. Especially because he already has so many good traps in here. There's not really a whole lot you can take out for numerous copies of Spell and Trap Destruction. But the big candidate would be Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit.
Yep.
Kira starts things off. He's got Senju, searching for Clausulus. Kaleidoscope drops both Clausulus and Valkyris onto the field. Very aggressive first turn for Kira as he draws through his deck as quickly as possible, looking for that decree. And what do you want to bet he found it? Chase sets 4, and in the end phase, there was in fact that decree again. Gishki Chain is up next. The effect is activated. Picks up Necros Cycle. Chain and Valkyris both connect. That's 4,600 damage.
This one might be over in no time flat.
Well, Chase has that Dark Hole. It's going to be very useful.
Yeah, the Dark Hole's actually very good here because Akira doesn't have a follow-up, does he, to this?
He would need to have the cycle. Get something with the cycle. Ally of Justice Cycle Reader, by the way, is level 3, so it could be tributed Necros Cycle to bring Clausulus back. And Chain is tributed to Valkyris to pick up what appears to be another Chain. Akira thinks. Does he want to ritual summon again this turn? Nope. So it's back to Chase, and Chase destroys Valkyris with Dark Hole. He's picked up another artifact.
This engine, which has brought him all this way, seems to be causing him the most problems, from what we can see. See, for trap cards or artifacts that he keeps drawing into.
That's, yeah.
I mean, I can't really say that it was a bad idea when he's currently playing for third place.
Oh no, there's definitely a whole lot of value in this idea. Like, Artifact Morale Attack is incredibly good. And combined with the general Tellarknight engine with all of those revival cards, it's extremely attractive. But this is the risk you run when you play the artifact cards. Gishki Chain is normal summoned, and Akira finds Necros and Trishula off of it. 1800 from Gishki Chain drops Chase down to 1500.
Didn't see what spell card that was. Oh, it's Imperial Iron War. It wasn't a spell. That's
Another trap.
That's game.
He sets it face down. Got to at least pretend that it is an artifact ignition. Let's send you off the top. Didn't really need it. Gets Unicorn. And Necros Kaleidoscope is flipped. Once again, sending Herald of Arclight to the graveyard to summon Unicorn. You don't think he's gonna... He's not gonna try to rank 4 or something, is he? That would be madness.
Just swing.
Why would you ever do that?
I think he's just trying to end this in style. There it is. That's game.
All right, and that'll do it. Gishki Chain attacks directly for the last points of damage. And Chase points out, yeah, I've seen enough of that card to last me a lifetime. As he flips up all of his trap cards.
Trap.
And 2 more traps off the top.
Yeah,
of
there
his
was a
deck.
third one there as well. I just saw it as well. Chase was just not having... He had no way of getting into that.
So it looks like it's just not Chase Cunningham's day.
No.
And,
no more Royal Decrees. He's going to be... I imagine on the plane ride home, he's just going to be shaking his head going, Royal Decree.
that means Akira Hasegawa is your 3rd place finisher in the World Championship. The finals will begin at 3 p.m. our time. That's the top of the hour, no matter where you are. So join us then. Don't go away.